This is very sad, and I can't ever imagine being one of these business owners because a 166-year-old luxury retailer in San Francisco warns the city, writes a letter to the city saying that this could be their last year. And remember, San Francisco has a ton of these decade-old iconic stores, and we already have several iconic stores like an iconic brewery. They've shut down an iconic cafe, iconic Chinatown businesses, and very, very old iconic businesses in the Fisherman's Wharf as well. They've all closed down. They closed down in droves. And has the city said anything or have done anything to reverse that course? Absolutely not. The city's like, screw it. Let's just let these stores close. Who cares if these iconic, decade-old, sometimes century-old stores just close down? So you do have the owner of the luxury department store, Gump's San Francisco, writes an open letter to Governor Newsom, Mayor London Breed, and also the city's board of supervisors, pleading for them to act what he describes the city as worsening downtown conditions. And what's really scary about San Francisco is the city is just delusional. Okay, the city pretty much says it's recovering. Oh, we're doing better. Oh, we actually got some businesses coming in. All lies. The city's not getting better. It's getting worse. Yeah, there's like 2 businesses coming in, but there's like 20 businesses going out. And what the letter says is, today, as we prepare for our 166th holiday season at 250 Post Street, we fear that this may be our last holiday season. This is very scary and very heartbreaking as well. If you also check out this area, you do see this retailer right here, 250 Post Street. It's a small, very nice looking store, and the ratings look pretty good as well, essentially for gifts and home decor. And obviously, being open for almost 2 centuries, they definitely have very fantastic business every single year. But even streets like these are experiencing a massive inflow of shoplifting, theft, and also burglary break-ins at night and even the day. So you're seeing this sort of stuff. And this is actually a very, very nice neighborhood. This is one of the few areas that hasn't really been touched by like the fentanyl stuff and the homeless stuff in the camps. But zoom a little bit further out, right? If you go down to Union Square, this place is completely empty. You have about 17 to 20 major retailers all leaving. Go down a little further down, you got Westfield Mall. They fully closed down. San Francisco's biggest mall has fully been closed, with it pretty much being a massive open-air drug market now, which is very sad. The Twitter HQ is basically in the trenches at this point, and I'm pretty sure the employees aren't really that happy for them to constantly having to come back to work. I'm sure that Twitter guys all just want to work online at this point. Oh, what about the Nancy Pelosi's federal office building? The federal building in San Francisco is pretty much an open-air drug market, and they've even issued a massive letter warning workers to just work online at this point. Don't even come back to the city. I mean, coming back to the city is a pretty big liability. I mean, when the city constantly looked like this, and if you look at Westfield Mall's Michael Kors, people are just getting high in front of the Michael Kors store. And I think this business is still sometimes open. Yeah, I don't really think people are going to be shopping at Michael Kors when you got to go through this kind of situation. And Westfield Mall is now fully empty now. They fully abandoned the mall, and Westfield even said, yeah, the building is worth way less than like the debt that we have. So we're just going to return this building back to the bank. The bank could have this building. We don't want it anymore. And check this out. Westfield is getting worse and worse. California is like, you know what? Shoplifting, $950 or less, it's a misdemeanor. Less police effort and theft explodes. And if you guys don't know, if you rob $950 in places like Singapore, that's like 5 to 7 years in jail. Like, they don't play around there. And they will catch people who steal in Singapore, for example, and even other cities. Tokyo, Shenzhen, Hong Kong, Sydney, UAE, Dubai, Doha. You don't want to rob in those places. They're pretty conservative in their laws, and they're very strict in their laws. They don't mess around. Not like California, you could rob almost $1,000 and get away with it. It's a misdemeanor. So you could pretty much steal something from a Louis Vuitton store, get caught, if you get caught, that is, and nothing happens. No wonder these decade-old iconic stores are closing. This is very sad if a business owner has to take time out of their day to write a lengthy letter and then essentially just send it to everyone. I mean, this situation is everywhere. We're seeing this everywhere. Okay, the city's condition is worsening. we're seeing a decreased amount of office workers. If you check out the BARTs, which is kind of like the Bay Area Rapid Transportation System, they pretty much connect a lot of the places in like Oakland, for example, and also south of San Francisco, connected all the way to downtown San Francisco. A lot of people get dropped off in Montgomery Street. And this is going to be the place where a lot of office workers get dropped off and they start working at the Salesforce Tower. They start working on the numerous office buildings around the area. But now these office buildings are basically completely vacant. With this building, for example, 181 Fremont, Facebook has exited out of 500,000 square feet of office space. Salesforce Tower, I heard, is 50% empty. And also the Salesforce bus transit system, which they spent $2.2 billion on, is basically empty. Not to mention, you also got a potential railway system on the back and the bottom, and it's not being built. Okay, I mean, so many of these stores are closing at such a fast rate. And you may be wondering, oh, maybe this time San Francisco will definitely act on it and enforce stricter laws. Absolutely not. I guarantee you this letter, they probably read it a few times and they're like, you know what, screw it. The thing about San Francisco that's really crazy isn't the crime, guys. There's crime obviously in every single city. There's shoplifting in every single city. There's theft in every single city. The thing about California, and especially the Bay Area, is you could commit crimes, but the cops really can't do anything. Even cops that want to do things, if they do something, they're gonna get canceled, right? Security guards can't do anything. Self-defense, it's like a really iffy area. You just can't do anything in the Bay Area. I mean, in fact, if you try to do something to the burglar, you're probably going to be in trouble more than the burglar itself. That's what everyone says. So this is why shoplifting is such a big thing. This is why theft is up 41%. Carjackings are everywhere. And no wonder tourism barely flourishes in this place. Tourism is down the dumps. Okay, if you guys think international tourism is going to rebound, absolutely not. There's not a single Chinese tourist on the street of San Francisco, which there were 500,000 Chinese tourists back in 2019 who spent a collective $1.2 billion to that city. Now, nobody's there. Everyone's going to Miami. Everyone's going to Austin. Everyone's going to Las Vegas. Nobody is going to San Francisco. It is a complete dump. You probably have seen several of these videos. It just looks like this every single day. Tents everywhere. Nobody on the street. There's also people just high doing drugs. This is not a city to live. This is not a city to raise a family. You have vloggers from other countries coming here. They're absolutely shocked. And it's just terrible. And what the crazy thing is, like I said before, the city really doesn't care, right? The city just doesn't care. And the city will be like, oh, we're recovering. No way you're recovering. It's getting worse. And oh, are office workers coming back? Absolutely not. Here's the thing about San Francisco. It's such a great location. Okay, I don't care what you say. You could clown me in the comments. The location's honestly pretty good. It's a peninsula. Top, left, right, you got the ocean, you got the water, you got pretty good views, you got numerous parks, you even got like a couple beaches. It's pretty close to tech stuff. And go north, you got like Wine County. It's pretty nice, right? It's a pretty nice place. A lot of culture, a lot of great downtown stuff, and a lot of tech. If they just clean up the streets a little bit and offer some public services and just really make laws, actually laws in San Francisco, a lot of these guys that left will come crawling back to the city. But because nothing ever gets changed and San Francisco is so weird about enforcing anything, theft is rampant, crime is rampant, and there's even like a running joke right now about what's the point of even buying stuff from the Louis Vuitton store when you could just steal it and nothing ever happens. Crazy city. And like I said before, I hope the city does well and I hope they change, but let's see what happens.